Welcome to round 3 with green black Tron. And this hand doesn't really do anything, doesn't have multiple Tron pieces that has to go back. This hand's got it all, we're good. Pretty straightforward. And we're keeping that. We're short action, we're short a Tron piece, kind of perfect. And we are playing against Amulet. Not as fast as it used to be, but I would rather be on the Amulet side, I think, still. Even though Ali beat CVM in the finals of the Invitational that one time. And I don't. So I'm getting Ghost Quarter, and I don't know about using the onboard version versus the one in hand. I think I could have delayed the decision by using the onboard one. I think that might have been better. Because this happens, and suddenly Ghost Quarter is much less relevant. And here, I think I should have just aggressively gone for Tron. So I hit Tower off of the Stirrings first. I think I should have just played my Tron piece and fetch instead of going with the Ghost Quarter plan, because now my opponent has one card. They're clearly not on an Amulet hand. They're on just like a Cast Titan hand, and Ghost Quarter is significantly worse against that. So I definitely made a mistake there. And then I made a secondary mistake. I should have aggressively Ghost Quartered to see if my opponent had a second force in their deck or not. I realize that about now. I should have done it on draw step for the record. You Ghost Quarter on draw step a lot of the time to see if they drew the card. It's kind of like the Path to Exile thing. Now we're just kind of hoping that this is about when I realized it on their end step. Now we're just hoping we draw something relevant, which we do. Oblivion Stone's reasonably relevant. And here I take Karn because it's just a bigger effect. I don't think a single World Breaker is going to get me out of this. And we're casting Karn and Sanctuming for Ulamog. And the only question is, what do we do with Karn? I made a mistake and plussed it, targeting my opponent just so I'd guarantee have an Exile next turn on like a Titan. But I should have realized that my opponent's hand is probably like Titan, no 6 land. I should have taken out a land. So I think that I made a mistake there. And my opponent is, via drawing a bounce land, and Azusa is able to actually Titan. And they actually make a bit of a mistake knowing about the Ulamog. They got Talaria West, Simic Growth Chamber, which, I mean, against the onboard Karn, exiling Titan is kind of a thing, but I just have the ability to exile 3 lands and keep them off pack mana and they die. I'm not actually sure if I would have done that because you potentially risk them slow rolling a green land, but I think that like if I just exile 2 Growth Chambers and the Primeval Titan and then make them pay for pact, they probably just die anyways. So I probably would have just done that, but who knows? They concede the game. When all their permanents die, no one's a happy person after that. Also, they lose their Talaria West activation when I do that. That's pretty cute. And by cute, I mean pretty miserable for my opponent. Okay, sideboarding here. I opted to bring in only 3 Nature's Claims. I didn't want to overload on interaction for Relic because it doesn't work against Amulet because it doesn't work against the rest of their deck. Warping Whale is an upgrade to Collective Brutality in my book. I think I like being able to kill Azusa at instant speed. That might be wrong because Brutality can take out Summoner's Pact though. Worth considering. With the black cards coming out, I upgraded a potentially tapped land for a forest. I don't care about the pain in the matchup. If you're going to die, you take a million. I left in 1 relic because I wanted cantrip density. But looking a bit more at it, I think it's possible I wanted like 1 or 2 brutalities. I think I liked Warping Whale being easier to cast was the other thing too. I think that's pretty huge there, as opposed to taking out Summoner's Pact or Pact Negation. But I don't know. It's a lot of marginal answers. I don't know what the right answer is here. I'd be interested in thoughts. It's possible, Wormcoil Engine, I guess this card trades reasonably well, but it's possible I didn't need that card. You can trim a little and get a little more interactive, but I stayed a little too linear, I think. Okay, welcome to game two against Amulet. We will see if our perfect nut draw of turn 4 Ulamog is good enough, and also outside shot of turn 3 World Breaker if we get lucky. Nature's Claim is pretty nice. If our opponent exposes an Amulet, we just get to get it. And we do hit her out, and our hand is just the perfect. Here they Azusa and play an Amulet. I kind of realize how much worse Azusa is than Summer Bloom. You're not going off in like a super fast time frame any time soon with this list. It's a lot slower. And here, we're gonna cast World Breaker obviously, and we want to go after Amulet because that's just literally the scariest possible card. It's the card that makes the deck work, and it's the card that just shocks me that it's still legal. My opponent plays a Titan, does some stuff, gets a Talaria West, and I just jam an Ulamog. This is the greatest thing ever. And I go after. My opponent's going to be able to, unless I just go after two blue sources and leave them with a Titan, which just seems stupid. They're going to be able to Talaria West. They can even Talaria West off that because they can just get like a bounce land and get blue sources. So I go after the Slayer Stronghold to prevent their next Titan from having haste and their Titan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're still a mana short of Titaning anyways. And they just concede the game rather than continuing. Aggressively called, but with the Karn in hand, I do not think my opponent was coming anywhere close to winning that game. I think that the Amulet deck right now, as is not close to. I don't think it's good enough. It's without Bloom, it has a lot of clunkier draws. It looks like the double Amulet draws can still get a little busted, but the fact that I was solidly outracing them despite them doing their thing was kind of a big tell there, especially as like the Death Shadow deck picked up post Amulet, post Summer Bloom ban. I think that matchup could have been one that was legitimately hard for the Amulet deck.